Hello, my name is Design Ghost and welcome to another episode of our design series where we learn everything design. If you are new here and if you're not subscribed to our channel yet, kindly subscribe to our channel and don't forget to put us on post notifications so that you do not miss any amazing content we post here. Today, we are going to design this field trip amazing flyer using Cinema 4D and Photoshop. So without wasting too much of your time, let's get right into the video. So first of all, you are going to open our Cinema 4D. So this is Cinema 4D R20 version. So you can get that and get along. And the first thing we are going to do here is we are going to bring in our test. So we are going to go to More Graph, More Test. And we are going to bring our test. We are going to write our test. So our main test is a field trip, but then the font that we are going to use, so I'll first of all write trip. The font that we are going to use gives an effect of which doesn't really fit with the design, so we would have to go back to Photoshop and do a bit of adjustment and then bring it back here. So we first of all write trip. And the font that we are going to use is called Rashido. So let's look for Rashido. Let's align middle. We have our trip. Let's decrease the wet spacing, that is the horizontal spacing. And we have our trip ready. Let's add some caps. Fillet cap 10. Fillet cap for the end as well. And the steps are 10. Great. So we are left with field. So let's go to Photoshop. Let's grab our test 2 and write field. Let's increase the font size. Let's choose Rashido. Rahido. Hey, all this long I've been saying Rashido. Rahido. Great. And here we are going to need the lowercase. So let's rewrite it. And now the L is creating a space here, and that is why I said it gives an effect. It does not really suit the design. So we are going to decrease the wet spacing 50, 75. Okay. Let's make it 50. Or better still, we can make it like 60. Great. Then let's take our test tool, cut this using Ctrl X, rasterize layer, choose our pen tool. Let's cut this portion off. deselect to deselect it, pen tool again, backspace or delete to delete it, deselect, and now we can bring in our text D, so paste. Let's increase the size. Great. So we can make these one, so rasterize layers, merge layers, and we'll go for our selection tool. We select, use the select V, use the arrow keys, any of the arrow keys, hit it to select your text. Pen tool again, right click, selection tool again, right click, make work path 1, okay, and we have our work path. So we are going to save this as an Illustrator file, and then we are going to send it to Cinema 4D. So files, export, path to Illustrator, okay. We are going to okay. We are going to choose. You choose where you want to save it to. I want to save it here, so I call it path. And our work path is ready. So we are going to move back to Cinema 4D. So let's go back to Cinema 4D, and here we are going to, instead of bringing in new, we are going to merge. So merge, and we are going to locate where we saved our file. So, and this is where we saved it. To open, okay. And now our path has been brought into Cinema 4D. Let's take this out and see. Sorry. This is our path, but we would have to increase it. So we are going to hit T on the keyboard shortcut. We are going to click and drag to zoom. Bring it down a bit. E for the move tool, I'm gonna move it upwards. Let's bring in our text to see if we are really matching up the size. We bring it forward. Okay, so we hit T again and zoom. Click to zoom, click to zoom. E for the move to bring it upwards. T again to zoom a bit. And now I think we are good to go. So what we are going to do is we are going to create an extrusion, and we are going to extrude these paths. So we are going to come to subdivisions, surface, long press for extrusion. And this is our path. Sorry, when you click on it, you have the splines in it. All right, so we are going to test the extrusion to see if the settings is really what we want. So we are going to use one of it to test, and okay, it's fine. So what we are going to do is we are going to go back, make some adjustments to the extrusion, so that when we duplicate, we do not have to make these adjustments in all of the splines. So we'll just make it once and just duplicate, and it will go with them. So fillet cap 10, the same thing as we did, fillet cap 10. And now we count our splines that we have: 1, 2, 3, 4. So we make additional 3 duplicates. So we hold Control, click and drag to leave, to duplicate. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we can now put our splines in our extrusion. A spline to an extrusion. And now we can delete this group. Select all, Alt G to group, and we can name this field. Okay, so our axis is for the group is positioned where we do not want, so we are going to click the enable axis, then we are going to position it where we want, then deactivate it again. So here we can move it. I think the extrusion is too much for me, so let me decrease it a bit. So what we can do here is we can hold shift and select all, come to objects, extrusion, and decrease it a bit. Great. So we can move it a bit backwards. And now we are going to duplicate this. So we hold Control to duplicate this. Open that, select all, decrease the movement, that is the extrusion, caps, and decrease the caps to about 1. Let's see what it's giving us. Yes, so let's decrease the N2 to 1, something like that. Yes, and let's move it back. Great. Let's increase the movement a bit. Object movement. Good. Let's bring it forward small. Perfect. So we are going to do same for trip. We are going to duplicate that as well, and then we are going to bring it to the front. So Control to the front, movement about 5, caps 1, 1, and we have the same effect. The movement for the second one is a bit bigger for me, so let me decrease it. Good. I'll duplicate this again, move it backwards. Okay, so our work is like it's on the ground. So what I'm going to do is group all these, Alt G, and call it test, and I'm going to move it upwards. I don't want it to be on the ground. Move it upwards. Let's zoom, position it well, zoom, position it well, zoom. And now how I want it to look on the flyer, I'm going to position it that way. So I'm going to make it look a bit like this. Let me bring it a bit down. Great. And now, because I want it to look this way on my flyer, I am going to add an active camera to it, and I'm going to protect the camera so that this position that I've made do not change along the line. So camera, make it active. I'm going to add a tag, cinema tags, and protection. So this way I cannot move, or my settings cannot change. So let's continue what we're doing. Let me deactivate this so that I can move around. Okay, let me increase the movement of this a bit. Good. And now the last thing that I'm going to do before we add our textures to it is to add a text wrap to it, a wrap to it. So what I'm going to do is to long press, bend, look for wrap, hold shift with my text selected, and click. Now we have to reduce the tension. I'm going to reduce the tension. Okay, I'm going to reduce. Great. Let me see how it's showing in my. Okay. And now I'm going to add a bit of movement to it. So I'm going to add movement, kind of it's moving a bit upward. Bring this a bit closer again. Add a bit of movement, and we are good to go. So now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to add textures to it, and the textures, we are not going to stress ourselves too much. We are going to use a Cinema 4D Studio Lite, which comes with a texture. So you can download that from Google. You just type, or any search engine type, download Cinema 4D Studio Lite. It comes with a texture. So for now, that is what we are going to do. So I'll bring in my textures. So file, merge, navigate to where you downloaded it to, and Cinema 4D Studio Lite Messy Matte. That is the texture that we are looking for. So open. We have our textures, but before we apply our textures, there is one thing I want to fix. So when you look at our positioning, you see that there is a little space here and there's too much space here. So I would want to bring it back down for an equal space. So I will delete the protection, and now I can move the camera. So I'll bring it up. So I will bring it a bit down. Take it a bit backwards, a bit down. Great. So now I can add my tag to it. So Cinema tag, protection. So now we can add our text to it. So add a texture. Going to increase the white a bit, and I'm going to add a reflection to it. So reflectance, add GGX, and the only thing that I'm going to touch here is the brightness. So I'm going to take it down a bit. apply the same thing to this, and that I would want to apply some blue to it. Okay, and this to that. So our test is almost ready. Now we are going to add lightning to it, but before we can add the lightning to it, we need to deactivate our camera so that we can have full control over the working space. So let me zoom out, and again we are going to merge, and Cinema 4D Studio Lights, we are going to bring it in. Great. Now let's position the overhead softbox, take it a bit up. The softbox itself, let's check our camera to see if none is intersecting or interfering. Okay, so you can duplicate that. You can duplicate by holding Control, duplicate the softbox. But while you position it, you make sure it is not interfering with your camera. Good. And now if you look at it, there is a bit of shadow here, so we can bring in a light. So let's deactivate the camera again so that we can see what is happening. Add an area light. We'll bring it in. R for rotate, you can rotate it a bit. Take it back a bit. Depending on the lightning that you want, you position it to suit it. Let's activate the camera to see what's happening. Okay, fine. So we are done with our text, and the last thing that we are going to do is to make our render settings. So you select your render settings and you come to effect. The last time I remember someone was asking me about my ambient occlusion settings. So you add your ambient occlusion, and I don't do anything to it. I just add it like this for now. That is what I do when I'm rendering text. And then my global illumination, I change it from default to object visualization high. Okay, and then output, I change the resolution to 150. Save. I make sure I check the alpha channel so that I can have a transparent background. Then file, here you choose where you want to save it to. So you can save it to wherever you want to save it to. Then afterwards you click render, and your render view opens and it begins to render. Okay, so see you in Photoshop. Bye. To the Photoshop version of this tutorial, so we have a 3D test ready, and here we have our 3D test ready. So your 3D test should finally look like what we are going to bring in here after rendering, following all the settings that we made in Cinema 4D. And these are resources that we are going to use in designing our flyer, so you can get them. In the description is a link to our Telegram page where you can find links to download resources for free. So you find links to all these resources in the description, so you can download them and follow along. So without wasting much time, let's bring in our tests. So this is how our test is going to look like after rendering, if you followed all the setups that we did. And this we don't need it anymore, so we are going to take it off. We are going to delete it. And this is our text, so we are going to bring it in. Going to zoom. Great. We are going to take it to camera raw and add a bit of touches to it, so we are going to send it to camera raw. Shift Control A. Exposure 9, texture 30, clarity about 25, 15. Yes. It's okay. So we are going to add a background. Blue, obviously. But this time around we need this type of blue. So brush tool, increase it a bit, draw, need this type of blue too, brush, draw, add another one. We'll take this part of the blue, darker blue, brush again, draw, right, add another layer, go for a darker blue, brush again, great. We'll add another layer, choose something like that. Okay, brush again, the background is ready. Group, hold Ctrl Alt E to make a merge layer of it. Image adjustments, color lookup. To the last C. Okay, soft warming look. So bring in our text. Great. What we are going to do here is take it a bit upwards. What we are going to do here is to make our text pop. So we are going to add a white background. So brush again, white, this time around white, decrease it. White, we can pick something like sea kind of blue. We'll add another layer. We'll take a pale white, brush again, okay. So we are going to add something like clouds to it. So we are going to decrease this white. Okay, bring this a bit down. Then we are going to add a layer, brush, right click. So we are going to look for cloud brushes. You can download them for free from any search engine. So Resource Boy cloud brushes. We'll take clouds, some kind of clouds. Let me try the first one. Decrease it a bit. No, great. And we'll add another layer. I'll put it behind our text. Decrease it small. And our white, let's increase it a bit. Great. So we can group all these, call it text. Now bring in some resources. So we are going to bring in the palm tree and the parachute. Let me take this field trip off because we've already gotten it, so we don't need it anymore. Let me take the palm tree. It has a long name, so let me take that too off. Going to duplicate that. Put it behind our text, kind of. Our main text, to bring it here. Reduce the size. Because the stem is showing, so I'm going to use the eraser tool to take it off. Bring the text down. Oops. Text down a bit. Going to duplicate it again. Make it small. Tilt it, transform, flip horizontal. Going to position it in such a way that it's going to look like it's inside the D. So I'm going to decrease it, eraser tool. Now I need the hard brush. Take it off. Take it off. Now bring back the opacity. And now the final one. Reduce the size. Transform. Flip horizontal. Tilt it a bit. We make it look like increase it a bit. Eraser tool. Let me position it well. Okay. Eraser tool. Cut. increase it. And bring in the parachute. Bring in some beds. So you can call them, group them, and give it a name. Now our field trip flyer is almost ready, so we need to add some information to it. So add whatever organization that is organizing it, their name here at the top. Make it white. Choose Poppins. It's too many. Bring it a bit down. We can write, for instance, Husag. Sorry. $25. Actually, Control A. Whoa, what's happening? Select present. Medium. Increase it. Select group. Let's add rectangle here. White. Poppins. Venue to be venues to be at visited. Zero. Boot. make it white. Then we can add the location, Jamadudu Museum, and Bomfobri Wildlife Sanctuary. Now let's add a shape for it. Let's take out the stroke. Okay. To rate. $200 Ghana cedis, and this I will have to use Tesca. Let me bring in this random shape. This shape can be created using a normal rectangle, and then you use the pen tool to cut the edges. Alright. Just did it outside the tutorial to save some time. We'll add some stroke and inside, and that's the color FFCFD2. You can copy that, and the stroke about 22. So I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to duplicate another one as well. Great. And I'm going to bring in the images. As I said, you can download these images. There is a link in the description to our Telegram page where you can download these images. That is if you want to use the exact same images. So I'll bring in the first image. Clipping max. Reduce it. Next image, clipping mask. And the last one, group and call it images. Add another rectangle here. So for more info, you can add can add for more info to that section. For more info. So we can group all these, and call it info. And now when we look at our design, there's too much space here and there's a little space, so we can position that for a balanced design. And the last one of it is adding some touches to it, and I'm going to add a stroke, no fill, add we're going to increase the stroke. Okay, and then the stroke options, going to make it a round edge. I'm going to rasterize that, pick my eraser tool, soft. I'm going to clean the part that is interfering. Choche. So this brings us to the end of today's episode of our design series. If you are here and if not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel and remember to put us on post notifications so that you do not miss any amazing content we post here. If this video was helpful to you, kindly give it a thumbs up and share for others to also benefit. My name is Design Ghost and see you in the next episode. Bye.